Aloha Queen Tulsi Gabbard has decided to weigh in on the controversial new law in Florida, the so-called Don't Say Gay bill. And she has completely revealed herself to be exactly who I said she was, an anti-gay bigot who actually wants that law to go even further. Let's watch.
You may have seen in the news recently, or you may be a parent who's experienced how parental rights are under attack all across the country as the government tries to usurp parents' rights and responsibility to raise their own children. Now, we should all support the Parental Rights and Education bill that recently passed in Florida, which very simply bans government and government schools from indoctrinating woke sexual values in our schools to a captive audience that is by law required to attend. But as I read the legislation, I gotta tell you, I was shocked to learn that it only protects kids from kindergarten till 3rd grade. 3rd grade? What about 12th grade? Or not at all? Now, government has no place in our personal lives. Government has no place in our bedrooms.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tulsi Gabbard. I believe in the culture of aloha, yoga, and surfing. And since I talk like I'm sedated, maybe you won't understand that what I'm saying is incredibly cruel and awful, but I'm actually a terrible bigot and always have been. But I bamboozled people into thinking that I was a wonderful progressive when I stepped down from the DNC because people love artificial surface level garbage to judge their politicians on. No, she's been terrible from the beginning. And all people needed to do was just scratch beneath the surface and figure out how she was only using certain labels when she thought that it would be beneficial for her. When she left Congress, one of the last things that she did was author anti-trans legislation. That's what she did. She had a history of anti-gay rhetoric, including the idea that electroshock therapy for gay kids was totally fine and dandy. I mean, this is who she is. This is who she's always been. And it's just, look, I don't enjoy seeing it because she's spewing this kind of stuff and people eat it up, unfortunately. And the real people who actually get harmed by this type of grifting are innocent kids who just want to live their lives and are going to be made to feel as second-class citizens within their school districts, within their state, because this has become nothing more than a rallying cry for, sorry, my dog is very fired up about this. It's become a rallying cry for right-wingers, for their campaigning and for money making, and that's it.
Okay, so first let's dispense with the obvious. Hashtag Anna was right, except about Charlie. Number two, and by the way though, let me stay on that for a second. Why was Anna right? So she pointed out some of Tulsi's positions that were not at all progressive while she was still pretending to be, while Tulsi was still pretending to be progressive. But one of those positions was that she used to be significantly anti-gay. And then as a so-called progressive, she walked that back like, oh, sorry, that was the past. I don't mean that now. I'm trying to fake my way into left-wing voters, right? So now that the veil is off, she's back to being anti-gay. And so it's funny, I was gonna make the same point about her voice because she has this way of talking where she seems like, maybe it's like for those fake left guys, the incel guys that are like that, like does it for them. The minute she starts talking like this, they're like, oh my gosh, she's so hot. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Anti-gay. Now I'm the new left-wing position is being anti-gay. No, it's not. And she said there that this is about protecting the kids from woke sexual values. So first of all, okay, you're a right winger. Move on. You're a right winger. There isn't a single left wing person in the country who talks about woke sexual values, okay? And second of all, protecting the kids from what? She makes it sound like they're explaining graphic gay and straight sex. They're not doing that. What this bill does is it bans teachers from even mentioning the existence of gay people. And she's saying that should be expanded all the way to 12th grade. Until 12th grade, you're gonna protect our kids from the knowledge of knowing that there are gay people in the world. Well, number one, I got news for you. You're not. It's called the internet and your kids are on it. So you're not gonna be able to protect them from gay people. Second of all, what kind of a progressive wants to protect kids from gay people, from knowing about gay people? No, that's a vicious right-wing position. Thank you for admitting who you are. Now, my last question though is, for the people who are still Tulsi fans, what are you a fan of? Are you a fan of the former Tulsi Gabbard who was saying she was progressive, or the current Tulsi Gabbard that has only right-wing positions? Or are you just a fan of flip-flopping? And you're like, man, she nailed that flip-flop. She changed all her positions so quick. And that is just really impressive. That at least would make sense. The other two don't make any sense.
Well, there's more from her Twitter video on this. So why don't we take a look at what else she had to say?
Now, the reality that we're facing in this country is our schools are failing. Nationally, 34% of students are below basic reading level in the 4th grade. 25% of high school graduates are functionally illiterate. Now, I'm confident that if our schools focused on educating our kids, teaching them the fundamentals, things like English, math, science, civics, history, we would see our literacy rates improve and set our young people up for success.
Yeah, let's have a conversation about setting people up for success. Hi, I'm Tulsi Gabbard, and I always sound like I'm sedated, and it's a trick to make you think I'm a good person. No, let's talk about why public schools fail. It's because the party that you're grifting for, Tulsi Gabbard, you freaking coward, has been dismantling public education for decades, defunding it, doing what they can to privatize it, funneling taxpayer money out of the public school system and into hyper-religious private schools that have no standards, no real oversight. And again, it's an avenue in which public schools continue to get defunded, right? And the money goes right to private schools in the form of these vouchers for school choice. She knows all of this, okay? I mean, it's just amazing to me that the right wing of all people are now pretending to care about the quality education that kids are getting at public schools. They haven't cared for a very long time, if ever. And part of the reason why these schools are failing is because of the policies and the defunding that they have implemented themselves. To turn around and say like, oh, well, I just think that an inclusive environment for children means that they're not gonna be able to read. What a stupid argument to make. But hey, when you sound like you're stoned 100% of the time, it's not that surprising that you'd make stupid arguments.
So Edwin reminded me that the biggest massacre for the gay community happened in Florida, the Pulse nightclub. And at the time, if you remember, Republicans pretended to be outraged and concerned. That's because someone who was Muslim had done it. So they're like, can you believe what Muslims do to gay people? Now they've turned all the way around to, oh yeah, we hate gay people. And we don't think you should ever mention it to anyone going to school, because then they won't be able to do math. Okay, so just be honest about who you are. If you're a right winger like Tulsi Gabbard, just admit it. You hate gay people and you don't want them to have the same rights as us. You don't even want their existence to be mentioned. That's how toxic you think they are, that their mere existence is. You're loathsome. There's nothing I could say about you that would be enough. And then finally, I love this absurd theory that she has, is that if you don't mention gay people at all, somehow all the kids will be better students.
Yeah.
Somebody be like, oh, you mentioned a straight couple, but no gay couple. Oh my God, I could read. Okay, not really how education works. Right wingers like Tulsi should look into getting an education, then they might know.
Yeah, logic isn't really her thing. She does tend to have a difficult time defending her own positions, which is why she ran away from an interview that she had scheduled with the two of us together. Wouldn't do it unless I was not in the room. because she's a coward, she's a grifter, and it's just so clear at this point.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.